How do you build ninja level strength and skill with sustainability in mind for the long term, with things like handstands, muscle ups, human flags, flares, flips, all the cool moves that you see in my videos? How do you do that? Especially with setbacks and things that get in your way that seem to keep you from attaining the level that you would like to have, or being able to sustain that long term. And to be clear, those moves, handstands, muscle ups, V stands, back flips, all those things are not just for show, but they're evidence of good physical training over the long term. It's about freedom of movement and being able to have that sustainably. So, and I'd imagine if you're watching these videos, those are things that you want for yourself. Okay, freedom of movement, strength, ninja level skill in some cases, maybe being pain-free despite the setbacks and the roadblocks and the things that happen in life. And so that's the point of our talk today. And I just wanted to share with you some things that I've learned along the way, and some things that I've been able to and had the privilege and opportunity to help some students and friends and various people I've trained with along the way as well. And so, number one, as we're moving here and working things out a little bit. By the way, I'm on another surfing expedition, but the waves have come down and the wind has come up, so now's a perfect opportunity to make a video. But setbacks, who hasn't had one? Everyone does, and they come in a number of different ways. It could be injuries, that's the obvious one. The two categories for injuries are chronic and catastrophic. Chronic being over time, your body just doesn't want to cooperate and you feel those aches and pains. Catastrophic being something just breaking down, boom, all of a sudden, injury, surgery, whatever. Some setbacks are longer than others. Some could be a long time for recovery. Some can be just a nagging injury. Other category could be time, careers, jobs, work, family, toxic relationships, all those kind of things that seem to take your energy and your time away. Busyness of life, okay? So amid those kind of setbacks, especially, we'll talk today about the physical ones, but keeping those other ones in mind too are important, because those could be some of the most hazardous to you, right? The most hazardous. And you don't even realize it in some cases, you know? You don't even realize it. But anyhow, a couple of strategies to employ. Number one, being okay with where you're at. Everybody deals with pain. You're not alone. Everybody deals with that in those different categories I mentioned: physically, mentally, relationally, spiritually, emotionally. But being okay with that, and then going anyway, training anyway, and making it part of who you are. Not just an active lifestyle or those cliche sort of statements, but making it a part of who you are. And being okay with where you're at currently. And then continuing to take the steps, okay? Coming outside and just moving around, or on a different day, going and training hard. But here's a couple of strategies. The first is one strategy I've used for a lot of years. And let's say that you want to build a handstand push-up, okay? Just a handstand push-up. It's like the equivalent of doing a body weight overhead press, okay? But it's just cool. It's just how your body's supposed to be able to move. And this is something, training like this is something like, say, I've done over the years. But let's say it's your first pull-up, or a different push-up variation, or a flip. Doing a little bit throughout the day. I think somebody called it greasing the groove. I just think about it as a full day workout. Just a rep here, a rep there, a rep here, another rep there, scattered throughout the day. Almost like, again, it's just making it who you are. Okay? Second strategy, a little bit more involved. All right, so that one is kind of getting the body used to moving. If you haven't moved for a long time, that could be a big setback in itself. Some people come to training without having done anything for 2, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And they're not okay with where they are, and they expect miracles and things, that's great, to have that expectation, but at the same time, being okay with where you are, because if you're not okay with where you are, then that's where the frustration sets in, and then you're not going to improve at all, because that's just the worst mindset to have, to come with expectation. The opposite is the best, just to make it part of what you do without expectation. Okay, so first one, scattering it throughout the day. A little bit here, a little bit there. Second one, getting serious about your training and starting to block off time periods and making it, again, a part of who you are in such a way that that part of your day is not taken away, that you do that no matter what. And so that could look like, at the beginning levels, sets and reps. We do 5 rounds of strength. Typically, it's a couplet of contrasting moves. Say, push-pull is an easy example of handstand push-ups and pull-ups. Whenever students get to a certain level, they might be doing the muscle-up workout, which is 5 rounds of 5 muscle-ups. And then we can get into variations of muscle-ups. And that's what all the coaches are doing right now. They're going through a lot of that kind of training. And a lot of students are prescribed that. So that's the strength component. And then mixed in with that is the mobility. So some of the things that you're seeing me do right now, which combines the strength and the flexibility. And constantly stretching through the day, okay? Constantly, especially if you have had injurious setbacks, chronic kind of injuries that don't seem to be healing. You should be stretching throughout the day, okay? And you'll start to see that, like, this is very organic. It starts to take a different path in mainstream training, and that's how you become a ninja of strength and skill. It's a completely different way of thinking about things, okay? Okay, so the structured training, 5 rounds of strength, flexibility, stretches for 1, 3, 5-minute holds, splits, bridges, and skills, okay? Valdez, easy things, all right? Easy things that you're implementing into your training, into your moving, into your way of living. No matter if you're in an office or in a profession, an attorney, a doctor, an anesthesiologist, sometimes these paradigms get us thinking in such concrete, rigid ways of behaving and because we're dealing with spreadsheets and columns and numbers and that's the way that life becomes. But look at there is no straight line in nature. And so to think that we're going to have a straight line of progress and a straight line of sets and reps is an absurd way of thinking in all actuality, okay? But we can introduce some of that structure into training, coupled with the lifestyle thinking that I mentioned. And then the third way of training to really take it to the next level is developing higher level skills. And those are the first skills that I mentioned, some of them, and like handstands, human flags, flares, flips. And in some ways, those become just the basics. They become the basics of how you move. And it's just normal at that point. And then you're striving for more. And maybe striving is the wrong word, because striving sets that up with an expectation in mind. But just pushing yourself and continuing to grow, because that's the whole point. And that's how you become a ninja of strength and skill with sustainability, long-term, no matter your setbacks. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one and in training soon.